All right, bows and bow ties. So, look, you guys see the title. I didn't really get a chance to set this up the way I would like to normally, but hey, we're gonna go with it. I just said, hey, let me run this through StreamYard before I left my house. So, you guys see the title. I want to talk about this narrative around Black love. Do you guys like my dark lip this morning? I need to get a really hot pink one next because that's just how I'm feeling. Anyway, so I typically don't talk about my relationship, and it it is not lost on me. Most people who are relatively content don't talk about their relationship online. I don't bring my children online. I don't bring my husband. I keep that completely separate because that's my private life. I try to create these safe spaces for myself. And so, where am I going with that comment? Why am I not bringing my family online? And how this relates to this narrative around Black love. Um, I think the reason why, well, let me just say this. I was on TikTok because that entertains me. And there was a lady who basically had requested, hey, if you're in a healthy relationship, go ahead and stitch this and basically talk about it. And I was going to, and I didn't, partially because I was lazy. Okay. But I saw that there was a content creator on YouTube who had actually, I guess, snatched that whole thread. And because I thought about making a video behind people who are in healthy relationships, healthy Black relationships, or any healthy relationship. Someone had already done it, and there was no need for me to duplicate it. I feel like the person who, who who's taken that, I think I was like, let her just have that. She's doing a good job of reacting to it anyway. But I'm just gonna speak to it for myself. Let me just say this narrative around Black love, it is rough. I think what is happening is people, generally speaking, either are not on social media enough. Let me rephrase that. People don't put their information out there, right? The ones who are in halfway decent relationships don't usually have a whole lot of cycles, nor want to put their relationship out there for public consumption. I most certainly don't. I just want to be clear. I don't put my relationship out there for public consumption. Now, that's not to say that there's something wrong with my relationship. Mine has had some ups and downs, more ups and downs, thank goodness. Um, but it's because I protect my family, my relationship. Okay. But what I am noticing is that the content that is out there for consumption is not balanced. You've got so many women and men, but I'm going to speak primarily for the women for a second because I'm a Black woman, right? So I want to speak to Black women who are putting this content out there. What I've seen is they say the squeaky wheel gets the oil or whatever it is. I forgot what the saying is. You've got so many women who have created this cloud around Black love. And that's not to say there is no validity in some of the stuff that's being put out there, okay? Let's be clear. The, I'm saying I'm saying that the stuff that's being put out there is not to say that it shouldn't be out there, that it isn't true. But there is another side. So I'm seeing women get out here. There was this one lady on, I'm going to say it's TikTok. She's out here basically telling women, hey, if you're, and I'm paraphrasing, if you're about 40 years old, just don't even think about getting married. Don't think about love. You're nothing more than a hospice wife. These men don't want you. They only want you to take care of them. This is what she's proliferating. Now, that isn't to say that there isn't an element out there that's like that. But I'm like, holy cow. Like, there are women and men out here who find love later in life. Maybe they've come out of a bad relationship. Maybe they were solely focused on their career. Maybe there are people who just matured later. Oftentimes it's the men, to be honest, right? And then they realize, you know what? Maybe this is something I do want. Maybe this is something I do want. But what they'll do is they'll talk bad about some of these bad relationships, like they'll see these bad situations, these bad scenarios. And what they'll do is they'll assign those situations to all of Black love past 40. And I was like, holy, and it's not just Black love, it's any kind of love. Right now, the narrative around Black love is that it is toxic, that it is struggle, that it is struggle love. I watched a lot of the clips on Simone Biles this week. Um, yeah, let me just say this. I think that her husband committed a major faux pas in how he handled the whole interview. The entire Black world is roasting this young couple. I can see a handful of people saying, hey, just be mindful of this. These are black flags. I mean, red flags. I get it. But they have torn her relationship down so much. So many people have commented on it. This is what I would say. Where is the balance in saying, you know what? I, with this young lady, she's mid 20s. I think she's 26. I think I've read somewhere that she's 26, her and her husband. Why not sow something into her and to him? Why not say, hey, look, moving forward, let me tell you how you handle this when you're talking about your wife in public. Okay? Why not mentor that this young married couple? And yes, it does sound like, there was some shenanigans in how they got together, but they're together now. Why not sit there? Because I know what it's like to be married, and I know the challenges. Let me say something for the record. I want you guys to listen to me. I know what it's like when you're married, and you have people who are not married want to speak on your relationship. I know what it's like when people who are not married want to come for your relationship, and they want to tear it down. I know firsthand what that's like. And let me tell you something. I was with a man who loved me and was a high earner and had me feeling probably the most feminine I had ever felt. And people still found a way. It was people, it was women. It wasn't the men, it was the women. I want you guys to let that one sink in for a second. When I think about that Simone Biles and uh, her her husband's name, I'm drawing a blank, and now I'm falling into the same. Oh my gosh, because they were calling him Mr. Biles, and I could not remember this man's name. It'll hit me. Her husband, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so her and her husband right now are going through it, and you got a lot of Black women getting out there online speaking and tearing it down. And look, yes, this man says some things that are problematic. Okay? But the way I look at it right now is I serve a God who do wonderful things. And what you do is you pray for that relationship. You ask for God to put a hedge of protection around that relationship, put his hands around that relationship, make sure that he's helping these two young married people grow together. Okay? Making sure the lines of communication remain open. Making sure that is his name, Comey is providing cover for her. Okay? And if she wants to submit to this man, look, she's already married to this man. Now what you do is you pray for this relationship to be healthy and remain healthy. Who knows what's going on in that bedroom? I don't know. It's none of my business. I know what's going on in my bedroom. And I just kind of feel like the narrative around black love is he like I was looking at what people were saying like he doesn't really want you because he's an athlete and look at the woman that he did in the past. Now this is true. There's something to be said for that, right? They're trying to imply like he really only wants someone who's a biracial or white woman. It very well could be true, but he's with her now. Okay, so you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if God has changed his heart. You don't know what the love is he has for her. I don't know. Okay, I feel like when you look at the narrative around black love is black men don't want black women, that they hate themselves. There's a lot of them that do. They don't want someone who's like a Simone. I'm like, and let me just say for the record, I think she's a beautiful woman and talented. I'm like, who wouldn't want a Simone Biles? Now, I'm not a man, so I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing with a different set of eyes. I'm like, who wouldn't want a Simone Biles? Who wouldn't want her? You can't say she's not fit. You can't say she's not feminine or friendly, right? Well, maybe they can. Maybe the goalpost is moving. I don't know. But she's fit, feminine friendly, or whatever it is. I don't know. And she, in her clip, said, in a few years, they're gonna call me Miss. I guess his name. They're gonna call me whatever her husband's name is, and then they're not gonna call him. Dang, I'm messing up the whole quote. But the point is, she's gonna be known as Mrs. whatever his name is. Owens. Owens. He plays football. He plays for the Packers. He plays for the Packers. Owens. It is Owens. So she play. Her husband's last name is Owens, and yeah. So anyway, the point I'm getting at is this narrative around black love is that it's going to be toxic, and that it's going to be struggle, all this other stuff, right? He doesn't want you, and because he's a high earner, he's an athlete. They go after a certain type. Well, I think that is largely true. I mean, I'm going by the eye test. I'm not going by data. Okay. So with that being said, I guess I'm also guilty of that too. Then the point I'm guilty of going by the eye test. Look, this narrative around black love is so skewed as far as what is put out in the media. There are not enough people who are saying, you know what, I am in a healthy relationship. Yes. Now, what I will say, the caution is the people who are promoting that I see on these clips, they're saying, hey, let me tell you about my healthy relationship. When they talk about their healthy relationship, one thing I notice is he does this for me, 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 he does this for me. And I understand where they're coming from. They're trying to show the little things and love and stuff like that and how he is catering or warm or whatever. But I would caution people in when having the discussion about your relationship, it shouldn't just be, oh, he did this for me, right? It should be like you want to speak to, um, I would say, a full cross section of someone, right? Not only the things he does for you, but how he makes you feel, how he treats others, his character, you know, how he's supporting the family, you know, and the things that you want to do for him, right? You want to talk about like you want to make it. You want to make sure that you give a full cross section of the person, not just I love him because he does these things for me, me. Now, clearly, when you love someone and they're riding for you, there's going to be an act of service from both sides. You know what? My wife does this for me. My wife does that for me. I remember, let me give you an example. When I was young in my relationship with my husband used to travel a lot. So he would have to go away for like 2 weeks to Japan. maybe a couple of weeks to Australia or Thailand or the UK or whatever. And I remember I used to always be upset because I'm like, I don't like being by myself. And before we started having kids, he would just fly me out there and we would just hang out. But there became a time when I was not trying to be on somebody's plane. And I was home with our kids, because I wanted stability. And I remember I made a comment to some ladies one time about when he comes home, the first thing I want him to do is leave his luggage by the door. And I want to make sure I just wash all his clothes. And there were some women who looked like me who made the comment, ugh, why are you washing his clothes? I'm like, what? They're like, what are you, his slave? These were non-married women, by the way. And I said, well, I wash his clothes because I want to wash his clothes. They're like, why can't he do his own clothes? I'm like, he can. And so they were like, well, why are you doing his clothes? I'm like, because I want to. So then I paused. I said, let me tell you something. My husband is traveling around the world, all these different time zones, and he's tired. He calls me almost every single day, unless he's in transit, if you don't have a good stop off point to call, because back when we used to Skype. I said, he calls me every single day to wish me good night, to check on the kids, whatever. Every day. I'm like, I want to make sure when he comes home, this is what I want to do. He's out there providing for my family. And this was during the time when, also too, when I was a stay-at-home mom too. I was like, he, I said, he is out there working really hard and providing for the family. You mean to tell me the least I can't do is when he gets home, I can't take his luggage and make sure we empty out everything because I don't want him bringing any cooties into the house. But and so it got quiet. I'll never forget that. I've always had that conversation. And they were like, oh, I'm just saying that he could do some laundry. I'm like, he surely can. I said, but you know what? He goes out and he provides for me too. He didn't ask me to do anything. I'm doing it because I want to do it. Let me wrap this up. People have this notion that black love is bad. It's synonymous with bad. It's synonymous with struggle. It's synonymous with infidelity. It's synonymous with all these bad things. And I'm like, well, we need to balance the content that's out there. It's not all bad. I'm not saying it's perfect, but you know, it's not like that. It's not all like that. And let me just say for the record, for those of you who've had negative experiences with black men, I've had negative experiences, but not like the kinds that these people are talking about. I said, look, this is the deal. I say you need to go wherever you find love. And love may not necessarily look like that with a black man, okay? And that's okay. The only time I would say I wouldn't go I wouldn't go looking for something else just because it's like all black men are this. I feel like if you find love with somebody who does not look like you, if he looks like someone else, then you should get it. You should chase it. You should enjoy it. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Most people thought I was gonna end up with a white guy. And I mean, that whole it's a whole other conversation for another day. I just feel like if whoever is, looks, if there's someone, if they happen to be white and they look like they're into you, they want to support you, they want to champion you, they want to rock with you, and they make you feel like $1 million. They make you feel the most feminine you've ever felt. They make you feel supported. They make you feel all forms of security. You understand what I'm saying? That's where you should be. And no one, don't worry about what anyone else says, right? Like it doesn't matter if he's black or white or if he's Latino, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You need to be where that person is going to make you feel like that. And, if you want to give to somebody, that lets me know that's where you need to be too. Okay? But all right, we need to stop with this bashing. There's more I want to say, but I'm getting close to my situation. We need to stop bashing Black love. There are some women out there who are speaking on Black love, and they really don't have a leg to stand on. There are people who are speaking on marriage, and they've never been married. They've seen bad marriages, so they think that they are the authority on marriage. I'm like, but if you have never been married, then you shouldn't even be talking about it. You should be searching for examples of positive marriages. Anyway, all right, let me get off of here because I feel like I'm on a high horse. Let me get off this soapbox. People need to stop talking so negatively about Black love all the time. We need to start balancing the content. We do. And we need to stop listening to people who don't even have good relationships, give information and advice on relationships. That goes for the men and the women. Y'all need to go get lives and get some hobbies. Shut up. That's what you need to do. Just stop talking all the time. All right. All right, came around this situation here. All right. Let me know what you think.